What?
What's the earliest thing you remember about Elmwood?
Earliest thing I remember.
Uh-huh.
I was born here.
She was.
But you don't remember that, do you?
No. Should I?
Was she born in this house?
Were you born in the house?
Yes, people don't get born out in the street.
We're gonna go.
And then what's the first thing you remember about being up here when you were 3 or 4?
Well, we always came up here in summertime
Uh-huh.
because Richmond got so hot down there.
Uh-huh.
And we always came up here. And it was very pleasant because and we raised everything to eat in the garden.
Uh-huh.
And we had a lot of fruit trees with peaches on them and what have you.
Uh-huh.
And me, I'm just a fool. Somebody said that we've got to put the more peach trees out. And I said, well, for heaven's sake, let's put them out right against the wall because when they bloom, they're so pretty.
Uh-huh.
People will love to see them blooming. Of course, I was a fool because people going along the road noticed the bloom. And so they waited until the peaches came out. And then they came with great baskets and filled the baskets with peaches.
Did you ride horses?
It's almost like an albino.
Yes, we certainly did. I had a lovely pony.
It's really something.
My sister had a pony.
You guys, why don't we go wash our hands?
And
Okay? Let's go in the bathroom.
we went riding every day.
Why don't you and Morgan and I go wash? Let's
What?
put this back.
Where would you ride?
Oh, all around the country. A lot of places to ride here. You can go to Paulding or Patterson.
Did you have a swimming pool when you were a child?
Let's go back and
No, we used to go in the lake.
ask her where the
The lake has a beautiful pool here.
I was asking you, how deep is it?
They've never found out how deep it is. It's so deep. So I don't know what that is.
When did they put the swimming pool in here?
Yeah, here wants to know when we put the swimming pool
In the 30s.
You photographed me. I didn't know you photographed.
Did the family used to live up here year-round?
You mean the first family?
Well, no, I mean your mother's family.
Boo. Boo. Yes, I think so. I wasn't here.
Edmund is interested that you were born up here.
Ask her why they did it.
Am I being born up here?
I guess they figured it was easier to bring you up before you were born than after you were born. As it was right troublesome. You had to take the train to New York, and then you had to get across to the other station, and then come on up to Paulding. Remember all those things that held baby bottles and things, kept them cold and all. Well, what you did was, when you were young, you were really visiting your grandmother Gould, weren't you?
What was she
Edmund
like?
wants to know what she was like.
Grandmother Gould. She was nice.
She enjoyed having the children.
Yeah. Evidently, or she wouldn't have had them.
And was the house big enough? They added on to it.
But you don't fall added on to everything.
Well, what would he do when he came up here, Grandmother? Would he relax the whole time, or would he be working?
He didn't come until the end of the week. He didn't come all the time, just the end.
How long would he stay up here?
2 days, and then he'd go back down
To New York or to Richmond?
to New York.
Where would he stay in New York? Biltmore?
I guess so. I don't know.
He didn't stay at a man's club.
No, but they were crazy about him in Biltmore. They did everything for him. And he had them all waiting on him. No.
Well, you used to drive down to the station with him, didn't you?
Yes, he used at one time, go every day to New York.
But I've heard you say you drove down to the station.
Yeah. And we had the wildest horses. But I always could drive, no trouble at all.
You could hold them.
Uh-huh. I don't know how, but I did.
She doesn't remember the Mizentop Hotel, does she?
Yes, it does.
No trouble.
That's
I
good about
always
that.
loved to drive them, and I didn't care how it was anywhere.
Did you all used to go over to the Mizentop Hotel?
Yeah. Well, that was when I was older that we used to go over there and dance. They had a lovely band on Fridays,
Uh-huh.
and we go over and dance then.
Did
Well,
you?
we only did that when we had guests. We were showing off. That extremely nice music.
Well, did you ever go over there to eat?
Not unless I was invited.
How big was it, Grandmother?
How big was it?
Uh-huh.
It was a hotel. It was a biggish hotel.
Could you?
Well, according to the marker, there were 250 people could be there. Didn't your friend Mrs. Proctor come there, Beatrice Sterling? Didn't she stay in the hotel?
No,
She didn't?
I don't know where she stayed. I don't know where.
Where'd you meet her?
I met her here, Quaker Hill. Well, that was an awfully cute house, the Quaker house. Well, it's still there.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Could you hear the music if you didn't go over there? Could you
What?
hear? Could you hear?
the music from this house? The music at the hotel?
No, we went over to the hotel. They had music on Friday nights that came up from New York, and it was extremely nice music to dance to. So we go on that.
What sort of people were at the hotel mainly? Were they from New York City?
Uh-huh. People from New York City. They were.
How the guests were entertained at the hotel? Well, they had a tennis court, I know, a golf course.
They had, yes, golf course. And what else they have?
Have riding? Probably riding.
But no swimming pool.
Did they swim in the lake? Probably.
I don't know. I just don't know. I know that the family were awfully upset every time people wanted to swim in the lake because some of the lakes they hadn't reached the bottom.
Oh.
They didn't know where it was. There was not much swimming in the lake in my day. They fished in the lake.
Where did you swim?
Where did we swim? I guess we didn't swim. I can't remember swimming.
Well, there used to be a swimming hole behind the Littels.
Well, I can't remember. Didn't we have a swimming hole here?
I don't think so, not here.
No. Here. But when we did have it, everybody was crazy about it.
Were you all pleased when your father added on to the house?
What do you add on?
But he added on that Elizabethan wing.
What Elizabethan wing?
These rooms upstairs, above us.
Did he add those on?
Yeah,
You sure?
I think so.
I didn't know he did.
Have you ever not spent a summer up here?
What? Yes. I was in Europe one year and didn't come. Didn't come home in time to come home. Huh?
You were about 18 or 19, weren't
Yeah.
you?
I
It was 1910.
used to go and live with Auntie, with my auntie in New York. And did I have a good time? Everywhere she went, she'd take me. And I just tag along happily.
Well, that was London, wasn't it?
Wasn't that wonderful? And you know, they always introduced you. The servant would introduce you. And it was very elaborate, the introduction. It was Miss Branch, Mrs. Glasgow's niece. No, I guess Mrs. Glasgow's niece, Miss Branch. And that was shouted out over this huge room. I got used to it, though. Didn't bother me particularly.
Which Miss?
I was age 18, I ought to be used to it.
What was your father like?
Well, he was full of the old Nick.
What does that mean?
Making fun of everybody and everything.
So he made jokes a lot?
Yeah. A lot.
And your mother was sort of on the opposite extreme?
What did he say?
He said, was your mother the same kind?
No. No. Mother was entirely different. But didn't seem to bother her at all. He'd tease her about everything, and she just take it.
She never teased him?
Never seemed upset. He was really lots of fun. I don't know how we lived on the third floor, those awful steps. The steps were this deep. And we all lived up there. Mel Branch too, he lived on that route. And Grandmother Gould came down from here, this house. And grandfather was at number 1, and he saw her. And he said, Miss Gould, where do you live? And she said, I live on the corner. And he said, well, why don't you move up here? Why don't you? Well, he was so firm about it. She thought she'd try it. So she did. There was one empty room, and it was quite near the bathroom, and she moved up. But how she stood it, I don't know, all those steps. The steps were terrible.
How long she lived there?
One season. One season until, of course, they were dull and to her. And she went to all the parties and everything. But,
Well, she used to go to Brooklyn usually, didn't she?
what?
Didn't she spend the winter in Brooklyn or Poughkeepsie?
No, I don't think so.
Well, she didn't live here in the winter.
No, she didn't. Oh, no, it was too cold here. This is very cold in winter. It's just terrible.
Did you travel with your father a lot?
Did I travel with him?
Uh-huh.
No.
Why is that?
Well, he worked, you know, at home. He worked at Thomas Branch and Company.
Did you ever go down there?
Only to carry a bundle or something.
What was that like?
What am I trying to say?
Business office?
Yeah, regular business.
It's on the second floor. You mean when you came down to the office, did they like to see you?
Oh, yes, very polite.
I used to love to go down to Daddy's office at Branch and Company. It was a fascinating experience. With that ticker tape running across, and the clear plastic rulers they had.
He enjoyed coming down to the office. He liked the clear plastic rulers. I've still got one.
And they made noises with them.
Yeah. No, 91.
I think I'll go upstairs and rest on the sofa for half an hour or so.
All right.